now, and it has to start in our final game of the night.
Already about 45 seconds in, so we finished jamming out with that hype video here. All we're going to really see is that first ward come through there. Again, like, this is what we talking about. Your Hecarim or Lee Sin in this matchup. Either way, jungle tracking is going to be very important for you, of course, for different reasons. If you're Lee Sin, where's Hecarim so I can kill him? But if you're a Hecarim, where's Lee Sin so I can avoid him like the plague?
Indeed, my friend, as we see some early woods go down on both sides, right? We see just there the blue being watered up, so it's really well done, along with the bush right outside the Baron pit, done by Bad Lulu as well, making sure that any potential early dives will not go their way. I am interested to see how this Jhin Yuumi lane goes, because we were talking about Yuumi before, right? I was thinking it might come out previously, but I'm glad that at least I got to see it once. I'm not the biggest fan of Yuumi in general, as a player, but in terms of composition, I think it
because
fits
you have
really well.
morals.
Indeed.
Yes.
But and also because the World's Medal last year ruined it for me. But as Yuumi right now, right, like you're saying, it fits so well here. Man, Mirage have been the team, like we mentioned in the draft, to experiment a lot more, bring out more of these interesting picks, and they're doing exactly that.
Oh, so Jessica actually is going to summon Ares, so I think this is the lethality build actually coming through.
Nice.
For Vitality.Bee's 80 carry. So that one's going to be interesting. It's definitely a lot of upfront power early on, especially the Q. It is something brutal. So that's actually going to allow, I think, as time goes on, for you to get a lot of pressure in this lane. But we already talked about it. This Yuumi is definitely for out of lane, the mid game, where you're trying to pair up with someone like Memento, maybe even Rungjun, who's going to be going on some of these assassination missions here.
Yeah. And considering he should be able to, match up against Silas pretty decently. Considering spoke for melee, the push should be pretty much in his favor for quite some time. And I did want to mention how Diplex is actually he is a Silas aficionado. He's very, very good on this pick. I believe we defined this out quite some time ago, but haven't been able to see a ton of Silas play out of him as of right now. But I'm excited to see how he performs on this, because I believe we've seen him play this once before, but that might just be LDLC that I might be misremembering.
Things are kind of slow at the moment here. Skeens now has hit that level 3 though.
What?
So we're either going to see the invade come through or maybe a potential gank. What's wrong?
I was going to say, what? You're telling me that Vitality likes to play things slow and control beat down?
I know, isn't that crazy?
Shock!
We've never said that.
No!
Why would we?
You're telling me that Vitality.Bee, this team that is so proficient in taking towers and controlling the map, wants to play for the macro game and try
patently
to
false.
put side lanes?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
What are you even talking about?
I'm not.
Stop.
I've said a thing so far.
Good. Jokes aside, yeah, Vitality.Bee do like to keep things slow. Although Skeens, interestingly enough, at times, we'll be able to find some pretty key openings. And it's the thing we keep talking about, where you're playing into something like the Hecarim, you have a pretty good window where you're going to be able to get the better of them and have more of an impact here. But for the moment, that is simply not the case. Instead, it's going to be Memento, who I like this. He full cleared, recalled, and then went for the Scuttle Crabs. He's already got, it's Ruby Crystal and Boots, but he might be able to get an opportunity to set up some kind of deep vision, maybe go for a dragon on spawn, but I think that would just be a little ambitious here, even though Cody Sun and Raxo are stacking a pretty big wave.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job with this, like you're mentioning. And with the Yuumi outside the Hecarim, should be able to hit the early drag. It would be an interesting momentum shift. But speaking of momentums, see Momentum go in, charge forward. Jessica and Jack Troll are pretty far back, so you won't manage to find TT onto anybody. And Cody Sun has almost no mana, so they need to step back. No roots on either side, and they'll simply walk away.
Yeah, they just want to make sure this wave goes in. Memento's going to walk away. Of course, Skeens is in the area, in case things get a little mixy.
Yep.
Now, because the camps are coming back up, though, it's time for Memento to say, all right, my time here is up. I'm going back to farm my camps. That's kind of how things work. Start at the beginning of your clear, the end of your clear, because you're going to see champs like Hecarim, Udyr, and try to find some of those openings in those pretty clear and consistent windows here. So maybe at the end, we could see a gank top as well. Bad Lulu by then should be level 6. Could be able to pretty easily set something up here. And it's worth noting too, Memento went for the phase rush and the ignite builds or if you hit someone with phase rush, you'll get a lot of speed. Oh, hold on.
Cody's son has to force out the flash as he, like you were mentioning, was trying to push this wave in, and it does cost him a pretty important summoner, as if you are a Jhin. You're basically immobile, unfortunate, but good call out by Skeens to try to punish the lane.
Right, it ends up working out. You both summoners are actually gone, like you said, from Cody's son. Now it's going to be pretty easy for you to just go ahead and solo the dragon. Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, when you have the Yuumi who went heal exhaust, just extra ways to protect yourself, I think wouldn't hurt. So I think that's the idea going on there. Although it's definitely unorthodox, I'm not going to lie.
My man took every defensive spell in the bot lane, bro.
Yeah,
he wants to make sure he stays alive no matter what.
The only thing missing is clarity.
Oh, absolutely. That would be awesome. But for now, though, he'll simply just get his back off, gets his empowered boots. We'll be able to roam quite fast around the entire lane. It's Cody's son. We praised him a lot in previous games for being the definition of an AD carry, for having stand-up performances. And in their wins, he's looked phenomenal, but even in their losses, he's been a rock for the team, honestly falling too far behind. But for now, we'll be able to see him step up a little bit more. And I like that he's on the Jhin, as he's playing more for the setup and letting his team do more of the carrying.
Oh, we're already seeing an example of the Hecarim Yuumi. The extra speed boost with that devastating charge is, well, it's a lack of a better word, devastating. We're going to see Bad Lulu getting the better of some of these trades now. Top, he's a player we highlight, usually very good in lane. And we're going to see if we get any examples of that in this game here, because this is a lane you could potentially play for, but you see Memento just making sure, hovering mid, that Rangjun can get the shove in. And now that we have that level 6 for Memento, because that power farming schemes isn't quite there yet, there's a big play to be made because of the path he decided to take.
Yeah,
no level
there
6.
we go. The knock up onto 2. They find the lockdown. There's the fear.
See ya.
And really well set up. The first blood from Memento.
And it's interesting that Vitality.Bee, Jessica Jack Troll, not really expecting that one just because of where they had that pink ward. The fact is, you saw Memento come through the mid lane, so you got to imagine he was able to get some aggressive pathing coming through, especially with your Tribush not warded. But they're punished very heavily for that one. Hecarim manages to get some extra gold into their pocket. Now, though, Skeens is level 6, does have access to the Dragon's Rage, so he'll be able to try and set up some plays as well. Thing is, though, you only really have a few targets to be kicking, and by a few, I mean your main target's probably Cody Sun.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And he has been. For so often, considering he's so immobile, like you were mentioning.
Yep.
But with Flash being down on him, he does have the barrier to stay alive for a little bit longer. But this Yuumi will not be long for his lane, as considering just past the first couple of minutes have already gone forward. So that means that Cody's son has to simply watch how far he pushes up. But with the wave actually going into him too, that should be right in front of Jessica Jekyll's tower. So better be careful. He is underneath the ward, so just stay safe as we see top side. Agenda is just forcing away Bad Lulu. Takes a bunch of damage, but with the grass should stay topped up as they get their Herald.
He's going to go ahead and recall anyway just because he's there. Oh, I guess he canceled it. The threat makes sense to me, though. You see the Herald there. You just lost your Meganar. And there's a chance they go for the dive here, so you don't want to actually fall. But he manages. He knows his jungler is nearby, so he's hoping he's going to be able to at least clear this wave and go for a recall. But that thing is, though, this jungler being so far away means Mirage aren't able to actually play for this first dragon here, which interestingly nobody has taken at this 9-minute mark. It's still up, and you'd think with Vitality.Bee having such a strong early game, especially with Skeen and Lee Sin, that they would try to make a play.
And interesting enough, this is really solid right now. Ziplex, if he takes 2 more shots, he should be dead. Nice little fancy feet, little cha-cha slide, and he stays alive.
Really nice. Doesn't have to blow the flash, but I like this from Mirage, using some of the priority you have bot lane, moving mid, trying to see if you can get something off of it, secure yourselves a kill. It doesn't do that necessarily, but you continue. Much like the plays with Memento showing up mid, you give pressure to the enemy mid laner, and that's what this team does. They play a lot through mid more than anywhere else. Yep. Play for Rangjun, and this is a game where you will benefit pretty highly from doing so, just because of how much burst damage LeBlanc is going to be able to do, and how many targets she can go for.
Yeah, so many plays from Mirage, especially both early and mid, have been set up around the power picks that Rangjun was able to get, and potential just counter picks that he just locked down, right? And even now, in this LeBlanc status matchup, he's doing so well, although not really ahead in farm, but the consistent push in lane does prove enough that You know, once Rangjun is able to push out and affect other lanes, he should become a menace. But unfortunately for Mirage, playing so much for these lanes has sometimes cost them if they can't sync up to be on the same page will be done, and we've seen that happen before as well.
This would certainly be a disaster if that were the case, simply because this is a comp where definitely coordination is going to be very important. Being able to sync up will be very important, especially when you think about the members like Memento, Bad Lulu. We're going to have the all-in, or who have the majority of the all-in this composition here. So that's why it's going to be really important here for them to be able to come out big in these team fights. Usually we see Bad Lulu on these more carry-oriented players. That's why you're seeing things like Gwen taken away from him at times, things like the Camille, but this time around, now that he's on the Gnar, it's going to be imperative that he is able to get some of these big ultimates off.
I think I can count on just simply one hand how many ganks Bad Lulu has gotten in the 6 weeks we've played, honestly.
From his jungler or the enemy?
From his jungler, specifically from Memento, right?
From Memento, it's like none. It's got to be like one.
I remember there was that one game that I think he got 2 ganks in one game, but that's only because the entire team was going top side.
But that's an outlier. It doesn't count.
You're right. You know, it does not at all. And the fact that he does so well, because you're talking a bit more about how Mirage played through mid so often, right? And I would expect them to play the strong side top in general, but so many resources are just focused on Rangjun. So Memento kind of just hovers around Cody-san and Rangjun, making sure that they stay fine, and Bad Lulu stays so often on an island. I just keep thinking, if they put him with things like the Jace and they give him a gank, how would their game look? Yeah,
they'd be different. But
that's what I'm saying.
That's not where we are. That's not where we are. Unfortunately, we're in this world. Bad Lulu. I mean, it does have a lot of potential to carry in this particular role.
Yeah.
Especially because we talk about how important it is to be able to manage your Narbar. Finding these big openings and plays is going to be up to him a lot of the time.
Yeah.
That's why I'm looking for him to be able to do exactly that. And the interesting thing to me is that Mirage managed to pick up the first dragon, and you can see them really start to get up there in terms of the relative power on this team. Now you have level 9 for Memento, Raxel spending almost all of his time attached to him, and now you're at this point where that combo with that Onslaught of Shadows and that final chapter could come onto anybody here on Vitality.Bee's side if they're a little too far out.
Raxel hasn't been bought for the past, I want to say, 7 minutes.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I did see him pay a visit when they got the dragon, but that was very short.
But that's because Memento was also there.
Exactly. it was so short-lived, man. It's crazy, bro. Just the fact that how powerful this Yumi can be as long as she's on priority targets, and just the pressure that Mirage is able to put out. But Vitality as well on the other end is so good about just simply denying these plays, right? They just don't go into it. They know where Mirage wants to set up, and so they decide, that's crazy. I see you guys want to fight here. What if we just didn't do that? Yeah. And then they don't, and they continue to play the map. Although no team has gotten the first tower so far, they are pretty close on top side on being able to get it. This bot side play might be nice. Rift Herald, like you said, is not there as right now for either team, but there should be a fair amount of gold to play. It's going over to Vitality.
Yeah, and Cody-san just going to have to accept that one, lose out on some gold and XP as a result here. With Memento and Rangjun in the area, they might be looking for the pinch here, especially with these recalls coming out. Yeah, Memento, he's looking.
Yeah, it's he wants to try to get it. There's a lockdown, beautiful CC setup, but just looking at that faraway shield, Jeskla is so Quan, and Jack Stroll gets to go with him.
It's just that easy to be able to get away. That is the power of this duo in the bottom lane. And now, oh, they got a play brewing potentially here.
They're fine. You know,
we'll see.
Chilling inside the bush. They know they might be under some threat, but not. They're chilling. Everything's okay, but Japso might potentially find the knock-up. There we go. The charm and the flash shot immediately from Cody-san.
There it is. Really nice push play to force out Cody-san's flash. Apply more pressure here onto this AD carry. At least with him playing the Jhin, he's going to be able to participate in these fights from a bit further away. But it still is a nice play that didn't cost you very much to go for here. Now the other thing is no teleports available for these top lanes. So when this dragon fight starts up, they won't be there. But they will be here for this Herald play. Yeah. Memento.
She can just push back if anything, but they're not there. Well, they're not there far enough or with enough CC to lock him down either. Unfortunate, but he gets to walk away. But like you're mentioning, At least now this gives them potential priority or a opportunity to fight over Rift Herald, but don't give this up, in fact.
Which is surprising. With that first Herald going down, there is a lot of there was a lot of gold gained with regards to turret plates and things like that, but no turret was taken down. Neither team has actually picked up their first turret, and now it's just Rungjun and the rest of this Mirage squad. Cody Sun off the reset as well. Does have the Gale Force, so it's just going to end up being, thanks for the leash Vitality, we're going to go ahead and take that one. And because of the presence Vitality put on this top side of the map, Memento could technically go down for this Dragon if they really want to here, because you only just now do you see Vitality actually considering it.
Yeah, because like you're saying, Esco should be able to get just full soul turret gold here. It's a lot of gold being given over in his pocket.
True.
Because they'll decide that going down bot side might not be super great, because if you let him push and choose to put the Rift Herald top side, which should at least get one full charge, but they're giving up a lot on the bot end because they lose Dragon off this. And considering Sajenda is already here, they can now 3-man push just the bot tier 2 on the side of Vitality.
I think that's okay, because technically if Mirage want to escort the Herald and take the turret, they can, but instead, doesn't look like it even manages to get the charge off. They're just leaving, they're just going into fog, going for the recalls here, and forcing neither, or it looks like neither team are going to actually go ahead for it. They're just going to back up, and both tier 2 turrets for the moment will end up standing. But then I agree with you. This is a little more beneficial for Vitality.Bee because they get the turret and that Dragon here. Mirage getting the first Dragon, even though their comp doesn't necessarily mean they should be strong enough to do so, is not playing towards the Dragon stacking anymore. They prioritize that Rift Herald, and we're going to see what kind of value they manage to get off of that. Most likely, drop it mid, break open the mid tier 1 turret. It's just the classic thing people do, especially with the second Rift Herald, if the mid lane turret is up.
They find Jack Troll on Vision, so they know that at least with this, Jessica shouldn't be too far off, and with both of them spotted on mid, Mirage decided instead to focus efforts on the bot lane, as there's a decent wave, and they could potentially try to fight Agenda, as he smells this here, so he knows there's a lot of people coming towards his direction, and decides to back off a solid play, and they'll give Diplex a space top side to get the turret for himself.
And again, Mirage constantly playing for the grouping, only ever playing 2 lanes at a time, it seems like, because they look like they're just waiting for someone to make the mistake, looking for someone to potentially just get caught out. But for the moment, because of this, they end up losing out on a lot of gold and XP as a result. You can see it, Rungjun is down 30 CS, Cody Sun is down about 20 CS as well, and you're seeing it start to show in the gold lead that Vitality have for themselves, about 1,000 gold, despite the fact that Mirage were the ones to pick up the first and only kill of the game.
This is really unfortunate, but you know, it was a nice start from Mirage, but from here, the game across the board has been in Vitality's favor, because this is where I find a lot of the game shine and where they excel, because they won't take a fight until they absolutely have to, but that'll also be when they're very far ahead of their opponents. And currently, they aren't super far ahead in terms of itemization, so in the 5v5, Mirage might be able to match up with them pretty evenly, but it might not stick around for long. Because what I'm looking at right now, for the side of Mirage, is besides the Yuumi and the Hecarim and trying to just run people down, they don't have much in terms of lockdown and potential dive for your front to back. So your leaders have to be on Memento and Raxo. We're trying to find an advantage.
That's what I'm looking for here. I mean, Rungjun hasn't really managed to be part of a whole lot at the moment here, and he is strong enough on this LeBlanc, especially with that Oblivion Orb coming through for a bit of that Grievous Wounds against someone like Diplex. But you're right, the angles haven't come through, even though Mirage have been very focused on grouping at the moment here. Constantly playing for 2 lanes, even this early in the game, where it's not like Baron is in play or anything like that, and it's caused them to lose a bit amount of gold and XP. We talk about it, it shows in the CS leads that Vitality have for themselves, and now you can see it. They're focusing so hard on this bottom side of the map because they want to take control for these Dragon fights. Now with no Herald to fight for, and the fact that Vitality probably can't rush Baron at 20 minutes, it's easy for Mirage to just focus all their vision on this bottom side. And you can see it. Pink wards are there. Trinkets are there. And it's going to allow them to continue Dragon stacking, because even though Vitality like to play a slow and controlled game, a slow game is still going to benefit Mirage that much more because you have someone like Yuumi on your team. Yeah,
for sure. And that Yuumi can make sure to keep all your carries topped up in these long extended fights. As the next Dragon, like you said, up in another minute. So I doubt we'll see much proactivity from either side. As I was gonna say, yo, Vita,
Yes.
you know, there's a phrase I've been thinking about for the past little bit. Is, do you think you can catch more flies with honey, or do you think that you can catch more honeys being fly?
What?
Look, I'm just saying, look.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? It's not. Does someone have a bee skin that I don't know about?
Nah, man, I've just been thinking about this the entire day, bro. Cause
Game's that slow, eh? Fair enough.
A little bit.
I can't blame you.
I mean, because like you said, because realistically we'll see no action until Dragon starts.
Yeah, you're right.
But
Is that a song lyric?
no,
Okay.
I remember this yearbook quote that I saw a long time ago from somebody. I think it is fantastic in its own regards. But as of right now, Dragon up in 10 seconds, right? So we might potentially see some structure of the game as Vitality.Bee are first to the take.
Yeah, as expected, Mirage are going to take their time, push out mid, and just go back to clearing out vision, especially because you have Rangjun able to use that distortion over walls. Cooldown's getting really low there.
Yep.
Means that he's going to be able to pretty consistently harass, go for some of this poke, see what he can
They
find.
might find one. The lost chapter gets put out of Jack Troll. Managed to get
one.
away.
There it is.
The final shot will land, but that's the ADC gone. Mirage pull the trigger, and it is wonderful to see how they might find the target.
That's the all-in, that's the team fight 5v5 potential that we are looking for here from Mirage's side, and because of that, they managed to come out on top here. I said it in the draft, Jessica only has one Feather Storm.
Yep. And yeah, with that too, is he doesn't matter. He gets that out. Flash is still up for him, unfortunately, and then he will sadly die. A tragic happenstance, but one that was inevitable to take place. Mirage now, at least with this, get the second and only kill of the game.
Yes, seriously.
Both focus on their end, which is, I think, hilarious. And Vitality, they have kept the gold even there. In fact, almost just dead even between these two sides. So even just to kill the dragon won't necessarily sway either team in either favor, but it is some more gold given over, at least to Cody's son, who now has a collector too.
Right, has hit that second item. So it is gonna, those fourth shots are going to hurt quite a bit. And at this point, even though you lose your mid turret, you're honestly not too upset about it if you're Mirage. You gotta be, that fight is definitely gonna be a big confidence booster. Because like, let's be real, you're playing, we talk about LDLC a lot. Vitality.Bee is another team who we gotta hype up. This because of the fact that they're also 9-3. Team who, despite their slow and controlled style, maybe it's not as exciting or as flashy as other teams in the league, but it's gotten them wins very consistently. So it's got to feel good for Mirage to be able to get this kind of draft and win out their first major fight and continue their dragon stacking as a result. And at this point now, it's just memento. Oh my god.
I mean, he is very fast with the EV, so manages to sidestep almost everything. Bellulu has to hop away. That was almost very dangerous for Mirage, but for now, they will dodge any and all efforts from Vitality, which is how they usually come back into these games like this.
Yeah.
When they find themselves in small deficits, they usually always manage to create some sort of pick and then extend the game from there. But them having all their efforts thwarted bodes very well for Mirage currently.
At this point, with nothing to really play for here, it's just going to be about pushing out some of these lanes here. Of course, Shigenda will be able to get this push far in. His wave clear is really good.
Yep.
On champs like the Graves. And because of that, because you have mid pushed in as well, you're able to snag, or at least attempt, to try and snag some of these buffs here. Wow. Skeens is really trying. Skeens used his kick, actually.
Oh my god, yeah, it was so far back. You want to try to dodge away, and yeah, that is just a free pick on Scheme. Memento will get that as well. Unfortunate step up and a rare mistake from Vitality.
I think it's a nice play coming out from Bad Lulu, though. You catch people, you're stopping recalls, and then as soon as you get up there to try and fight for this blue, Skeens uses that Dragon's Rage, and Memento immediately is thinking, oh my god, are you serious? I'm going in. We're going to get him. And they, especially when you have the Ignite, your ability to duel someone like Lee Sin with the Gore Drinker is that much stronger. And because of the celerity, or the Nimbus Cloak rather, you end up going with, you end up getting that movement speed so you can stay on top of him. These plays from Mirage are keeping them, or rather keeping them in this game, and oh my god.
Jeskla might be caught out again. He doesn't go over to the other side. He's letting Jack Troll tank all the shots, and good man Jack Troll protecting your homie.
Yeah, he will. I mean, Jessica's death there in that fight would have caused a Baron plate to be available here to Mirage. And even though Mirage are 3-0 on kills right now, again, it's been Vitality.Bee who are focusing a lot of their attention on many lanes, continuously farming up, and it's what's been giving them the lead that they're having right now. But it's still, this small lead isn't enough for Vitality.Bee to actually come out on top in these fights. To win it out, you need to either pick someone off or just be miles ahead of Mirage, because we see how strong Mirage's team fight is here. When you all in with things like Memento, with Rangjun, and how much damage they're able to put out.
As Rangjun will go down to the bot wave and respond with Memento right nearby alongside Cody-san too.
Teleport.
Trying to make a play on Agenda.
Hello.
But they find Jacktroll instead to go all the way far up. The ultimate misses, but still they get the deadly flourish. Alongside Lost Chapter, push the flash. Bad Lulu is looking to be Meganar into the wall. There we go. That's one. That Skeen's gone yet again. That should be potential Baron play if they manage to get Diplex here as well. The lockdown, the CC not there yet, but the exhaust will only delay the inevitable for Silas. That's two really good catch-offs from Mirage.
And it couldn't be at a better time. 20 seconds till yet another Hextech Drake comes through. Really nice use of the Hex Gates, the TP, and everything. Mirage, though, because there's 50 seconds off, and they've gotten rid of Diplex and Skeens, they want to make sure they push this wave, take this turret, and then, by the time Dragon spawns, they'll be ready to burst it down. That pickoff is so impactful, because now, even though Gold has been relatively close this entire time, now being at Soul Point is a big thing here for Mirage to be able to grab.
Yeah, and Mirage are at the same place that Geo were previously, right?
Yeah.
In terms of standing, so they know that everyone is at this point, like we've been stressing the entire day, counts for a ton. And them taking down Vitality bodes really well for themselves. So Mirage and Geo can make a potential run for playoffs.
Maybe.
If they continue to show these types of looks, but they have to close out this game for us. It's as though we're looking at a chessboard, right? They see themselves in the advantageous position. They have more points, but it's just about setting up for the end game, which is so close.
That it is. We're getting towards that 28-minute mark. It will be a pretty late Soul, just after 30 minutes, but you'll take it if you're Mirage. Being able to get that win that we're talking about, to keep that playoff dream alive, beating one of the teams for the first seed. Oh, wait a minute.
That is unfortunate, but he'll get the future, try to just delay potentially what they could try to get. But Jacktroll only takes one shot out of it. A good pickup by Vitality to get this bot tier 2. Unfortunate for Mirage.
Very much so. Memento ulting in, thinking he could save the play. Doesn't end up panning out in his favor. So him falling, even though Mirage do a good job of chunking people out, isn't going to be able to do much but stall this inevitable Baron play. So you can see it, Cody-san trying to push whatever waves he can. Bad Lulu's on this bottom side of the map, surprisingly, because you have to imagine Baron is what you're looking for with 13 seconds on Memento. But maybe they're thinking is Hecarim, he can just sprint his way back in. Maybe they don't do it fast enough, but I figured with double marksman they would try.
Yeah, I just wanted to be noted that Vitality.Bee still has their mid-tier 1 up. That's the entire point. We've seen how much effort Mirage has given to try to at least try to get it down so they can match Vitality in at least all the outers, but not being able to do that, that's such a huge point for Vitality. Get the knock up to 1. Might try to catch a Memento again, but there are more people here for the side of Mirage.
Teleport, Lulu's not there.
Yeah, Plex is there, like you said, Teleport is where Agenda is looking to add more people to the party as they'll force Mirage away.
It's pretty great though. You get Jagenda to TP, and ultimately you don't lose anything for it here, but you're committing again a lot of members into this mid lane, and nobody is there to answer top lane. It's what's been keeping Vitality.Bee in the game in terms of gold. It's just the fact that Mirage are so focused on grouping. With how their draft works, I definitely understand, but you're giving away so much gold in the process here, and you can see it. Even though you trade some turrets, you're still giving away so much gold and XP, letting it burn away when you ignore waves like this. And this is not the first time. They've been doing it over and over again.
This
and
is
now,
interesting.
they're just walking back instead of recalling.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think Mirage was about to back away, but the Hextech. Oh man, the rift change is definitely paying off in spades right now for Vitality, who can move away, but that would have been a really good fight for Mirage.
Would have been, so instead, all Mirage gets to do is just clear out vision on their side of the map, pick up what little minion waves is available after being burned away by the tower and their subsequent wave. what that means is you can't go for the Baron just yet, and you use all your vision just to clear things out. Use all your trinkets and etc. For the moment, put them on cooldown just so you can clear up this top side of the map. Make sure this Baron can't be snuck from right under your nose. But we're now less than 2 minutes away from what could be Mirage's soul. So very soon they have to set their sights to that side of the map. Move down there. And you can see how ahead of the game Vitality.Bee are in this regard. They've already set up vision on this bottom side of the map. They're leading Mirage by the nose this entire time. And when it comes to the macro, we give that credit to Vitality.Bee for how good that they end up playing it. But when it comes to the team fight, and it's just so strong for Mirage's composition. So Vitality.Bee, they need to make magic happen in these skirmishes. And a lot of that, you're looking at Skeens, you're looking at Jack Troll to try again. You're trying to take someone like Cody Sun who hasn't died this entire game.
For sure, and Skeens and Jack Troll, Skeens especially, has been caught up twice this game, which has kind of dissuaded Vitality from any sort of fights. And Mirage managed to keep finding him. That's exactly how they can look to push forward this game. But as of right now, like you mentioned, they're just continue grouping mid. So the Vitality though. They send Diplex to the top side yet again to make sure they can try to push forward and respond in one lane. As Bad Lulu is almost mega. Dragon is up another 35 seconds. They open up the curtains. They could find Agenda. A big fear onto 3 as Skeens after the first target, but Mentor has a flash away. A big actually grip on the back end of it, but they find Cody Sun like you were mentioning. He could be the next target, but he manages to get out. A really well-timed deadly flourish will mean that Diplex dies. And now Bad Lulu's mega. He wants to try it away in, but no real walls and no engage will mean that Agenda might get to walk away to find the exhaust flashes over the wall. So he's fine. Only one pick so far. Rangjun getting a bit more aggressive, but he has the Yumi with him.
Right, and this is what I mean. This is why I say the game going later and later is fine for Mirage. The amount of healing Raxo is able to dole out to his team is unreal, and you gotta give props for Diplex. He tried. He really tried to take down Cody Sun, but he threw out everything he had in the tank, and it still wasn't enough. And because you know Diplex TP'd to make that play, or at least to make the attempt possible, you're going to be pretty easily able to go ahead and clear things out on this top side of the map as well. I thought they were going to go for the Baron. That's really where I thought they were just going to beeline it, but Skeens is back. They don't want to throw away what bit of a lead they've gotten for themselves here. He's fine.
So I was going to say, might be dead,
he's dead.
Might be 1 for 1.
He's not dead, he's dead.
Yeah, there we go. Because Rangjun couldn't do enough damage in time, so at least they'll get 1 for 1 out of it. That's a long death timer. That's 45 seconds, so that means that no Baron play potentially from either side is right now.
Right, and I mean you could try something. Oh, you're right. It ended up being jungle for jungle, so there is no play to be made here. 30 seconds for both. So things overall, you're just gonna go back to what you're doing here if you're Mirage, and you're starting to really see the difficult position Vitality.Bee are in. Now Mirage have all this healing, all this burst damage, all this all-in potential. Now they have the Hextech Soul.
I just want to say that Agenda is living the top lane experience.
Yeah.
0-0-0, almost 400 farm.
Look at his bounty.
600 gold bounty.
Holy crap.
That guy's been splitting the entire game. And this is what we see out of the Graves and out of just the Gnar so often, right? There's just exile to some side lane to try to keep pushing. He does have 30 items, so it is quite nice, but being 0-0-0 is never really feels too good because it feels like, all right, cool, guys. I see we've been fighting, but where have I been?
That's exactly it, and that's kind of why when we were in the draft and I saw the Graves pick, I was like, because we already knew things like the Hecarim and the Gnar were in the picture when it happened, and I just think you're lacking in terms of team fight.
So Jenna's actually locked down here alongside the Lost Chapter. Yeah. It might be 0-1-0.
Big shutdown.
Man. Massive shutdown to Rangjun as the fight continues. Bad Lulu is almost mega. The stun into the wall, but he cannot hop away. Vitality has to turn this around because look at Diplex. He gets the healing off too. He does his damnedest to save his team from potential damnation, but it'll be a 2 for 2 for now. Diplex is dead. The Mental want to continue this. If they get Jack Troll or Jessica here, this is a Baron play, but they can't find them. They're looking for it. The lockdown.
They're gonna get him.
Yes, they do. With the ADC down and alongside the support, that is 4 down. This should be Baron for Mirage.
It's going to be tough. Your AD carry is not alive. A lot of your damage per second is gone. So I think they might just let this one go and walk away, spend the gold they have for themselves here. But still, a good fight from Vitality.Bee, but they still can't quite come out on top in these exchanges, and it's just, a lot of it is the healing, man. Raxo is keeping people so nice and topped up in these fights, and it's so hard for Vitality.Bee to really burst somebody down, because especially for Diplex, who's looking to try and take someone out here, go in deep, sustain himself with that Kingslayer, but it's hard when they can also sustain themselves.
Indeed, which is why we saw, you know, just all the anti-healing come out, even from Rangjun and as well Raxo too. Wants to make sure there are two ends of the bargain, just to make sure that they're able to try to lower the amount of potential healing that either side can get. But for now, with Bad Lulu being up, Memento and Raxo are hunting on the top side jungle, as they will not find anybody there, but they do spot Diplex jumping in at the start of the Baron.
And at this point, you're strong enough that you can absolutely just go ahead and start this thing. You have all the team fight tools. You have all the CC to be able to just go ahead and turn. And the TP from Shigendra is actually going to be a little late, so they might be able to just go ahead and finish this and look for the fight after.
It might be 5v5. The Gnar actually lands onto the Gnar himself, but he manages to turn right away. He will have to hop over the wall. Might not be able to do much out of this, but Skeets goes in. Then he goes down. A massive pick on one, but Jackstraw goes down as well on the back of it, so they only get a 1-for-1 at the end, as now Mirage want to turn a lost chapter. The CC chain, Sagenda should be dead, but he's moved enough damage.
Memento keeps healing!
He keeps staying alive! That's 3 down for Vitality.Bee, and that's 4! GA gone as well. Rangjun is on a spree, as Skeens is dead. Wowee!
And there it is. Vitality.Bee, probably one of their last chances to be able to get something done here. And even then, oh man, with Rangjun's low HP, or at least what was low, he manages to get that last pick. And look at the spawn timer. I think this is the game. Mirage managed to beat Vitality.Bee, who before today were tied with LDLC for first place.
We've had a day of upsets and dominant games, but Mirage have definitely shown, my God, have shown us that they're still most definitely in it to win it. A rough couple of last weeks, right? But it's been on Vitality, bows beautifully for themselves, as they're most definitely here, and they want to try to make the playoffs. They'll have more of their stats, get a couple of kills, but Mirage Elyandra showing up.